Chapter 9 talks about the program evaluation and review technique, or the critical path method, which you're gonna see always as the PERT and the CPM methods. A student of mine one time told me there was a super cool approach to project completion. It's just another method of forecasting that you can use um, to determine whether that you have allocated in a project uh, will be supported by all this information that you're gonna be planning, scheduling, and controlling. And just like the textbook tells you, in many situations, managers are responsible for planning, schedule, and controlling projects that consist of numerous separate jobs or tasks performed by a variety of departments and individuals. Often these projects are so large or complex that the manager cannot possibly remember all the information pertaining to the plan, schedule, and progress of the project. In these situations, the PERT and CPM have proven to be extremely valuable. One thing that I want you to remember is that usually when you hear the term PERT, automatically you hear someone saying PERT and CPM. Well, they might be referred like that, but they are not the same. When you read the chapter, you're going to see that the PERT method used three estimates: the optimistic, the pessimistic, and the most likely. And the optimistic would be the best case scenario, the pessimistic would be the worst case scenario, and the most likely is the one with the highest probability. So when we put together, we can calculate the expect time by using, which is going to be the optimistic time. There's a formula for it, plus four times the most likely time, plus the pessimistic time divided by six. So CPM, it's gonna be giving you it, uh, the critical path method. You're gonna be display a network diagram that is gonna detail the different events and step on a project, since it's activity oriented. And this would be a great way to identify what activities are critical to the project, as well as what activities rely on the completion of other activities, therefore dependent, as well as you're going to identify the slack time. So how is this any helpful? Well, it allows managers to focus their resources on what matter to the project, and they avoid wasting resources and ensure the project is completed in a timely manner, or what they determine to be a timely manner. Okay, so I would please go ahead, read through the chapter. I'm trying to find here the formula that I just mentioned to you from PERT. They're showing you right here. That's what I'm going to be doing with you when you're asked to draw the project network with the activity times in this case. This is what it's going to look like, and we're going to go over it. Here, determine critical paths. This means the earliest finish right here, time for an activity equals the earliest term time for an activity plus the time. I'm going to go through that as well. Activity times, which would be PERT. So to incorporate uncertain activity times into the analysis, we need to update the three estimates for each activity. And right here is the formula that I was telling you, which is the optimistic time plus four times the most likely time plus the pessimistic time divided by six. And that's how you would. However, I don't think I'm asking you that on your homework. Basically, I'm asking you for the CPM and for the project network. So, without further ado, let's just begin. One thing you might hear about uh, the Gantt chart, GANTT method or chart. Um, the PER chart it's a better decision to large scale business, provides more details, and it fits better with more complex projects. But then they present the Gantt chart, but the Gantt chart it's usually developed while the project is in progress. This way, managers they track the information to see how much percentage of a specific task has been completed by the deadline. So they really do afterwards to see how much they were able to complete based on what they had. The per chart, no, it gives you the before. They are developed before you start a project, and then you could also incorporate the optimistic, the most likely, the pessimistic, and get a full picture or what you could expect. Okay, so let's go to right here. Problem one is asking you to construct a project network for this problem, and to not you don't need to perform any further analysis. You don't need to identify the critical path. You don't need to calculate the PERT, the optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely time. Always asking you is to build the project network and identify which one is a predecessor for the previous activity. What do they mean by that? Well, just think about it. You decide you're gonna build a house, okay? So they tell you you have 3 months to complete this house. Well, hopefully you can agree with me that your activity A is gonna be building a foundation for your house, correct? Because without the foundation for the house, you cannot go any further. How are you gonna complete the rest? If you don't have the foundation, then the next activity perhaps is gonna be okay. Now we need to put all the plumbing for the house before we can proceed any further. Now, then right here it says C. Uh, I decide I'm gonna finally build a bedroom. Well, for my bedroom to be built, I need to have my foundation in place. And this right here, well, maybe I wanna the kitchen, and which is activity D. Well, to build my kitchen, I need the foundation to be ready, A, and I need my plumbing to be ready, B. And the same thing, I decided to build a bathroom, which I need my foundation and I need my plumbing ready, correct? So let's say that for activity F, so here's my bedroom, correct? For activity F, let's say that is gonna be a suite. I'm gonna put a bathroom in the bedroom. In order for me to build my bathroom in the bedroom, I first have to have my bedroom, correct? So right here, C, F is gonna be the immediate predecessor for F is gonna be the bedroom, which would be C, to complete my suite, and so far and so on. I'm sure you got the idea. We have activity A, and which is the first one. With oh, no, actually, yeah, it's gonna be the first one. But really, before you have nothing. So the way you're gonna do it, the way I do it, I'm gonna select 9 cells right here. I'm gonna go here to the borders, and I'm gonna choose all borders. Again, you don't have to do it like I do it. It's just I think it's the easiest way. I want to merge um, this activity right here in the middle. See merging center right there. Actually, what you could do as well, oh sorry about that, is to select this whole thing right here and make sure you already center everything. Okay, let me make it a little smaller. Perhaps this doesn't look too weird, right? Does it? I don't want to. You know what? Let me make this font a little smaller. There, that's enough. Because I'm really trying to make this as smaller as I can. Put like this. Okay, so right here, you're gonna have the start time. For every project network that you build, you always put your start time right here. So let's put the start time as in green, for example. On this little corner right here, you're gonna have your earliest start time, and right here is always gonna be your earliest finish time. Right here you have your latest start time. Actually, I can put in here because we're not gonna be um, putting any values right now. I just remember, so you can remember what we're talking about. So, and right here, latest finish. Okay, so you could even build something that says earliest, so you can remember start time. You don't need to, but you could. Okay, and then I just did controls. I select this and did control C to copy and control V to paste. So right here is gonna be my earliest finish time, correct? So finish time, which you're gonna need on the next one. Right here is gonna be your latest start time, and right here is gonna be your latest finish time. Okay, correct? So this is what it means. Right here, which I'm gonna put in blue, this one right here is going to be your activity time. I'm going to call it AT. Put it down here so you remember. Activity time. Okay. Right here, it's going to be your Slack. This is one of the most important. I'm just going to put SL. The Slack, that means if you're working in weeks, for example, and I tell you have a 0 weeks Slack, that means you must complete the project or that activity or that uh, task exactly in the time that was projected. But if I tell you that you have a Slack of 3 weeks, that means that even if you would delay the completion of that activity by 3 weeks, you're still okay. You're still in time. So the Slack, we're gonna actually put Slack time. We're actually gonna put in red because it's gonna be a very important thing for us right here. Okay, and we can change the font right here so you can see better. Hopefully, not so much. So make it bold, perhaps. That's a very strong red, right? Maybe we can get something else. Not so strong. I wanted it to get your attention, so maybe orange. No, that's the font. That's not the orange. Not so much. Really does. Okay, orange is fine. It's kind of an alert. Or should I put yellow for? Just put orange. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so we have put the start right here, and I have defined everything you're gonna need. But right now, all you are determining is the activities and their immediate predecessors. As you can see here, activity A and activity B have absolutely no predecessors. So you can just go ahead and place them um, one on top of the other. That's fine. So let's just go ahead and let me do this. Let me copy here. I selected the control C and I'm gonna put it right here and do a little further maybe. Control V and it's still selected. So I'm gonna go down here, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna do control V again to paste. It's just shortcuts that you can go here to copy paste. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna change here. We're gonna say this is activity A, correct? This I'm gonna leave it here, and this is my activity B, correct? If you wanna make it bold, that's fine. See this little symbol right here? So click right here on the arrow to give you more options, and we're gonna choose the arrow right here. So I'm gonna connect an arrow from my start to my A, and then I see now it gives me what I can do here. I want to be a little thicker than that. So my weight, I just went in, you open this by itself, shape outline, weight, and I want to be a little thicker. And I really don't want it to be, I want to also change the color. I just want it to be black. Here we go. Now, another way you can do this, instead of having to go through all that again, you select that arrow. See how it's selected right now, the two little dots? And then you could go here, copy and paste what I do because I love shortcuts. I do Control C, Control V, and then all I can do is just to redirect my arrow. Okay, but I'm gonna have to adjust it, that's for sure. But you don't have to go the weight and color and all that. Okay, if I don't really like this over here, I'm sorry. So I'm trying to put somewhere else. I don't know how big though my project network is gonna be. Okay, let's just put it here for now. Okay, so it's good enough. Now we have activity C, and my immediate predecessor for activity C, it's only A. Okay, so then what I can do is to go right here, copy A, and I can put it right here and say that this is my activity C, which I can do Control C, Control V, make my arrow much smaller and adjust it a little higher maybe. So now I'm telling here C is only being followed by A. Okay, now I have activity D, which you know what? I'm gonna put this even further because you notice activity B. Oh, where did it go? Oops. Oh, it didn't unmerge. That's why I'm just merging again. Okay, but now it's telling me that activity D, it's followed by A and B. Okay, then let's just go ahead and Control C. Therefore, Control V. Okay, so this is my activity D, correct? So D, I'm gonna copy and paste it twice. Why? Because let me just move this here. Well, D is being followed by A and B. Therefore, these two are going to D, correct? There we go. And now we have E, well, which is also followed by A and B. So what I can do, I can copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'm gonna do, oh, our buddy here is gonna be busy, huh? So I can actually move further, and I'm gonna do Control C, Control VV. Sorry, you don't need to do this whole Control C VV. You can go here, copy and paste. It just makes faster. Well, so then A is also a predecessor for E, and A and B is also a predecessor for D. When you're building on your own, you can actually make this a little, put a little more space. Here should be E, so you can see it better. Okay, so now we're almost done. Hang in there. F, it's only being followed by C. There's C, so I can put F here, but let me think one thing. G is followed by D and F, so it can be, G can be right here, correct? Okay, so let's do this. C, I'm gonna give it, so let's put E of, F over here, sorry about that. I'm gonna put G over here, and H is gonna be by E and this is gonna be GE. Okay, so we're gonna put a little further, maybe here. So this is gonna be activity F, this is gonna be activity G, and this is gonna be activity GH. Well, H is my last one, so if I have a start, I'm gonna have a finish. So my finish. Okay. Okay, now let's make the connections. So F is only followed by C. So right there, G is followed by D and F, correct? So D and then F, which you could move. There's a little, it's gonna merge. Hmm, we can do it to an merge. So, okay. So merge this thing and see what happens. Okay, then let's merge back. If that was the problem, we fix it. Okay, so D and then the other one, F, which is gonna be a tiny one because I put it too close, but I can adjust it like this. Perfect. For H, we have E and G. So H, we have a big one, right? Right here. So E, and then we have a tiny one right here. Okay. And then lastly, well, which one is my last one? H, correct? So now H is gonna be connected to the finish line. And that's it. If you wanna make it look better, let me unmerge these things. Now that you have finished, you can make adjustments. So let me put the finish over here. And then let me move this arrow right here. And then uh, this is H, right? Okay. And then let me merge this. So my H is being followed by E. And then I can actually now move this one and do like this. And then I can do this one over here. Or even a little further, but you got the point. I'm not trying to be a perfectionist. And right here, you could move these things back if you want now. And that's you'll be complete with your project network. So again, always put the start and the finish because once you calculate, you're gonna need then. A, there's no immediate predecessors besides, so they start. B, no immediate predecessor, therefore they are also a first step, a foundation, and then you add the tiles or the floor, let's say. And then C is being followed by A, correct? But D is also being followed by the predecessor is A, and E also the predecessor is A, and then same thing applies for B. B is predecessor for D and E. C is predecessor for F. D and F are the predecessor for G. E and G are the predecessor for H. And then H is the finish, is the last one. And as though I did go kind of slow, I just want to make sure you understand. And on the next one, uh, you're gonna have quite a few calculations, and I want to make sure at least you understand the first step. So you have enough to start